जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी कुंज बिहारी कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे राम हरे राधा माधव राधा राधा माधव राधा माधव राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ साई कौतिक पावन हरि जय साई कौतिक पावन गौर जय जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय 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 श्री राधा गोपीजन वल्लभ भगवान की जय काय पतित पावन गौर हरि बोल जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवतसेवया
भगवति उत्तम श्लोके
भगवति उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
टुगेदर ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांस श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगं रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतमः। जय जय श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय 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 श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरे कृष्ण। We will be discussing today Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto, chapter 10, and Sloka Sankhya, Sloka numbers, I think 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3 it doesn't have proper. So we'll just first recite the first sloka. Ilayam api bharyayam
इलायां भार्यायां
vayo putra mahabalaha
वायुपुत्रं महाबलं
putram utkalanamanam
पुत्रमुत्कलनामानां
yosid ratnam ajijana
योगिरत्नमणिजना
Ilayam api bharyayam
इलायामपि भार्यायां
Vyayo putram mahabalaha
वायुपुत्रं महाबलं
putram utkalanamanam
पुत्रमुत्कलनामानं
yosid ratnam ajijana
योषिरत्नमणिजना इलायामपि भार्यायां
Ilayam api bharyayam
वायुपुत्रां महाबलः
Vayo putra mahabalaha
पुत्रमुत्कलनामानं
putram utkalanamanam
योषिद्रत्नम् अजीजना
yosid ratnam ajijana
इलायाम् अपि भार्यायां
Ilayam api bharyayam
वायुपुत्र्यां महाबलः
Vayo putra mahabalaha
पुत्रम् उत्कलनामानं
putram utkalanamanam
योषिद्रत्नम् अजीजना
yosid ratnam ajijana. So in the translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, the greatly powerful Dhruva Maharaj had another wife named Ila, who was the daughter of the demigod Vayu. By her he begot a son named Utkala and a very beautiful daughter. We go to text 3. Uttamastva akratodvaho mrigayam बलीयसा अतः पुण्या जने नाद्रौ तन्मातास्य गतिं गता. Translation by Divine Grace Prabhupada. Dhruva Maharaj's younger brother Uttama, who was still unmarried, once went on a hunting excursion and was killed by a powerful yaksha in the Himalaya mountains. Along with him, his mother Suruchi also followed the path of her son, and also she also died. Now we'll go to text 4. ध्रुव भार्तृर्वधं श्रुत्वा कोपमर्ष सुचार्पितः जैत्रं चन्दनम् आस्थाय गतः पुण्यजनालयम्. What word translation? Dhruva, Dhruva Maharaj. Bhratrubadham, the killing of his brother. Srutva, hearing this news. Kopa, anger. Amarsa, vengeance. Sucha, lamentation. Arpitaha, being filled with. Jaitram, victorious. Shandanam, Shandanam, chariot. Asthaya, getting on. Gata, went. Punyajana Alayam, to the city of the Yakshas. Translation in purport by His Divine Graces Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. When Dhruva Maharaj heard of the killing of his brother Uttama by the Yakshas in the Himalaya mountains, being overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, he got on his chariot and went out for victory over the city of the Yakshas, Alkapuri. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj, becoming angry, overwhelmed with grief, and envious of the enemies, was not incompatible with his position as a great devotee. It is a misunderstanding that a devotee should not be angry, envious, or overwhelmed by lamentation. Dhruva Maharaj was the king, and when his brother was unceremoniously killed, it was his duty to take revenge against the Yakshas from the Himalayas. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Devatam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Swami. I seek all the blessings from all the senior devotees, and just before reciting and talking anything, before all the devotees who are very senior and exalted. So this purport specifically Prabhupada identifies about how the Swadharma. So first two texts. So in the first text itself, so it was said like about the first wife of Dhruva Maharaj, and the second text talks about the Ila, the daughter of demigod Vayu, and he had begot a son named Utkal and a beautiful daughter as well. And after that, he straightly comes towards Uttamas. So Uttam, as it was already spoken by the Lord, that maybe it is due to Dhruva Maharaj, like revengeful attitude, which was there like in a hidden way in his heart. So that, as for that, when the Lord came, he already indicated this, that Uttama will be killed. Okay? So as per the previous saying by the Lord, so Uttama was still unmarried, he was unmarried, and went on hunting. So naturally, the Kshatriyas, so they have the tendency to go to the forest and do the hunting. The hunting is always allowed for the Kshatriyas because they have to practice this chivalry acts. So, so they can go to the forest and hunt the animals, the poor, like the lower grade of animals. So that is one of the practice for them. So in order to protect his own like the people in his kingdom. So for that he went on to the region of Himalayas where those yakshas would reside. So yakshas are the people of like the people who are usually guard the wealth, okay, the wealth which are hidden in the earth, normally below the mountains and below the big trees and all. So to guard those, the yakshas are there, and the supreme guard or their leader is like Kuberji. So Kubera is the king of the yakshas. So the yakshas were naturally there, so it is not clearly mentioned how the fight broke or something, but naturally some because the Kshatriyas are by nature they are very much like passionate. So, so it is not very surprising that somehow or other a fight would have raised. So out of that fight, so the yakshas killed Uttama. So he also indicates that the mother was also following out of his maybe the pure affection for the for his son, and she also died. Okay. So here, after hearing that, Dhruva Maharaj got very angry, said, and also he became very overwhelmed and with lamentation and anger. So he started towards the Himalaya on his chariot. So this is one of his like swadharma. Anyway, he was the king, so he had to protect the people of the kingdom. And also that too, Uttam is his own brother. So it is not that because he is a pure devotee now, maybe you can say he is in the Suddha Sattva platform because he got the darshan of Vishnu, the Lord. So then how come immediately someone might think because in the society when normally they hear and even up to Sri Krishna they give the allegation that Krishna could have uh, like prevented the Mahabharata war. Why did he kill so many uh, like warriors or so many people? So they because of their poor fund of knowledge, they just see the logical things in this material world. They don't see the other part of it. So the Lord Himself says that the Swadharma should always be your own prescribed duties. You should always do that. So here Prabhupada rightly immediately indicates that it is completely compatible with Dhruva Maharaj, the anger and lamentation. And again going to the Yaksas, the Alkapuri. So Alkapuri, so like, that kshetra is called Alkapuri. So he went on to Alkapuri with a chariot. So Prabhupada says that this is not at all incompatible. We cannot say that because he is a pure devotee, he got darshan of the Lord, then he should have advanced and he should not make any killing stuff, which normally it feels like it is very gross. Why should one kill? Okay, one should be very pure, then non-envious, nothing. Okay, so someone can also quote that Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saishvana. So why didn't he tolerate everything? Whatever it is, he should tolerate, but it is not. He is a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means he has to kill. Out of that, he may be killed also. That is not a problem. So, but he has to know. If one is Brahman, yes. In that case, he may not like go on to fighting. So if someone is coming to kill, then he has to take shelter of a Kshatriya. Normally, it is the duty. So as per the like Varnashram Dharma, it should be done in that way. It is not that if someone is Kshatriya, then by reading some texts or going through the Bhagavatam or like that. So apart from his natural, nature is there, and he should leave his prescribed duty and do the otherwise. That is not recommended. So for the Swadharma, actually, as going through in Bhagavad Gita, specifically there are 3, 4 texts which Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna, which is clear indication that how at any moment in life, in any situation, the Swadharma or the own someone's self-prescribed duties out of his own nature should never be given up. It should be maintained and should be practiced. The first is 2.47. Karmaneva adhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. Ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangasto akarmani. So first one is, anyway, he says, okay, you have right to perform the prescribed duty, but not entitled for the fruits of action. Then immediately he says, Ma karma phala heturbhur. You are not the cause of whatever is the results, but mate sangasto akarmani. But still, you should not be detached of your actions or activity, your akarmani. So you cannot be detached from your duties. So duty has to be performed. That he indicates. And again in 3.35, Bhavan says, Sreyan swadharmo biguna paradharma swa anushthitat swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayava. So this, the first part of this sloka, again he repeats in 1847. But in this one, he says, Shreyan Swadharma Biguna. Shreya means it is the perfection actually. By executing your own duty, although some in a faulty way, rather than doing someone's work perfectly. So he says, Shreya. So this Shreyan Swadharma Biguna, Paradharma Swa Anushtita. Swadharma Nidharam Shreya. भले अपना सब कुछ मिट जाए, like if one is a kshatriya, so to maintain his swadharma he can go on to fighting, so in the fighting he may be killed, still he has to go and fight. So although he's shreya, he's like there is ultimate loss is there is no benefit, he may be killed, then also that is only the shreya phala, that is the ultimate perfection for him, he should do. But parodharma bhayava, rather than that, if he does someone else's duty, then that is very dangerous and detrimental. One should not just grab onto someone else's job. So, in someone's nature, whatever is one's nature, in that he should stay. So, in this, Prabhupada also says there are duty means there are 3 kinds of duties are there. Like one is a normal regular duty which is we have to perform, and one is in emergency we have to do, and one is some desirous activity are there. So this duty is so normal in a day-to-day course of action. So it is talked about that duty. In emergency, it can be like if one but parents are there. So if someone is coming to kill his children, anyway he'll protect. He'll protect by any means. That is his duty by that time. But it doesn't mean because he has to protect the child, now he will become, by giving up his own nature, let's say, if he is a Sudra or if he is a Brahman, then he should leave that and go on. And okay, whoever is killing somewhere, let's fight for that. So one is a Brahman, he should not do that. And like one example also he gives, like Vishwamitra, first he was like Kshatriya, but he became Brahman. When after that, after he became a Brahman, as per his nature, but then again he did not go and fight. There are so many demons were there, they're causing troubles. But since he became a Brahman, he remained in that stage. And he has all the power. He could have finished them in Vedic hymns only, but he did not do. He took Lord Ram and Lakshman for the protection. So from those pastimes of the Lord, from the scriptures, we got to know how to maintain and be in our own nature and own prescribed duties. So that's how it is very important that we maintain and we be in our own nature and own prescribed duties, not to just over onto anything and everything. So nowadays the society is like that. And everyone says, okay, now I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. You can do everything, but they won't do anything like that. So apart from that, even if someone is not performing, like not into the Vedic Varnashram Dharma in normal society case also. So a woman should follow the duties of a woman. A man should follow duties of man. Nowadays it is like, no, no, everyone is equal. Everyone can do everything. Yeah, can do everything, but that's not what is given or prescribed by the Lord. If everyone can do everything, then why did Lord made such distinctions, or distinguish between men and women? So when artificially we arrange that, okay, now because that's why it is very like important this slokas. So when we discuss it and like we deeply think about it, that's why the Lord says, even if so, anyone would say, how is it possible? It is just not practical. Like if something I'm not able to do it properly, why should I do? And he says, even if you can do something perfectly and it is not your prescribed duty, you should not do. But that is completely in this current scenario, in current age, one will say, no, this is not practical. It is just impractical. But it is not like that. But someone has to identify what is his nature, right? That Vishwamitra's example is almost perfect. So that is why Prabhupada always stressed and all our Vaishnava Acharyas stressed that the nature is has to be first observed after the so not right from the birth you can identify or someone you can just tag him. Okay, you are this, you are that. So for some time you have to observe. Now also people do not practice all the Varnashram or the Brahman Kshatriya, not all, but as soon as the child is 3 or 4 or 5 years, they said, you will become engineer only, you will become doctor only. Why not devotee? No one will say that, okay, this is, you will become a servant of the Lord. No one will say that. No one will say that, okay, you will become a pure, you will become a sweeper. Because everybody thought, okay, we have intelligence, we know what to do. So then everyone will want to become engineer, doctor, or some very office bearer only. Then who will do the other task? The other people who will be forced to do that, so there will be agitation in the society. So some or the other way, if we do not follow the scriptures, we are straight away coming into the imbalance of the management of the society. So that's why if we follow the scriptures as it is, although we may feel that something completely detrimental we are going to practice maybe. So that's why as soon as like Prabhupada used to give the pure knowledge from Bhagavatam and give the Vedic scriptures, the way of living as per Vedic standards, they would say, so Prabhupada, what do you want to say? Do you want to just again introduce the caste systems or the like legacy systems of living in India? Prabhupada said, no, it is not like that. Because some people exploited the Vedic practice and went in a wrong way, it doesn't mean this is completely wrong. The fundamental itself is wrong and you should avoid it. No, it is not like that. You have to practice it properly. Even though some people or from ages from Many centuries it has been exploited and it went into a wrong practice. We have to correct it. What is correct, we have to practice. Then it will be all right. It is not that we should altogether leave this. And in 18 chapter in Bhagavad Gita, again Prabhupada, Bhagavan says, like Yattaha pravritir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manava. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings, who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. So here also the Lord says, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. So one's own work should never be left out. So own work, so it is based on the conditioning. So first, when the living being is conditioned, the human being is conditioned as for his own conditional state, he has to practice that. By perfect practicing that itself, he can come into a perfection stage. And again, in 1847, the same sloka, like from 335, what is there in the first part of the sloka, Shreyan Swadharma Biguna Paradharma Swanushtitat. He says, and then again he says, Swabhava Niyatam Karma Kurvam Napnoti Kilvisam. So he says that duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. So don't worry, if you are a Kshatriya, go and fight. Do not think. That's why Arjuna, like again, Arjuna was not so ignorant that he will say, "Oh, I'll incur sin if I kill my kinsmen." But it was by the desire of the Lord he induced that, so that again he become bewildered, so that this topic will come out. So, like Arjuna was saying, I'll be sinful if I do this. So one says, no, out of your own nature, your own prescribed duties, when you do this, you will never incur sin. Oh, don't worry. That's why, like how that happened. So here, Dhruva Maharaj, if he is going and killing the yakshas, it is not that he'll incur any sinful reactions. It is not compatible to his state because he became a devotee. And we should say, hey, Dhruva Maharaj may not be so much advanced, so much exalted like the other person, the other advanced devotees. Because even after getting the sight of Lord Vishnu, the association of direct association of the Lord, so much mercy from the Lord, how can he just to go and kill the yakshas? So we should not think in that way. Because Prabhupada always stressed on that point that it is not that if you hear about the other devotees, like you went on to 10th canto and read the exalted like gopis and the Braj Sakhas and other devotees, when you hear about that, then you say that, okay, now we don't want to hear about Mahabharata, about Arjuna, Bhishma Deva and all. No, they all are menial servant of the Lord. They are doing their own prescribed duties as per their nature. They also give pleasure to the Lord as much as the gopis give. That's so somebody like for me also for a long time I used to see how can it be possible like this. But the rasa is different, right? But still, if the Lord wants that, if the Lord wants to fight, and if someone gives in that, like Vishwadev was ready, yeah, I'll fight with you. That is also giving pleasure to the Lord. When I was reading the puppets in like first canto, it was said like out of those 16,000 queens which Krishna married in the puppet, Prabhupada writes, out of them there were many gopis who were desirous to be wife of Krishna, they were there in that. So after they were kidnapped, when Arjuna was bringing them back after Krishna departed, then they again went back to Vrindavan. Okay. So there were some few gopis also in between. So in whatever way one pleases the Lord, that is perfect. It may not be always that everyone will seek into one rasa only. Everyone will go into the Madhurya rasa only. Then there will be no Kumaras, no Bhishma, there nothing, only Krishna and gopis. What about other? What about Yashoda Maya? Then Yashoda Maya also will be say, why will I stay in parental law? I'll also go after giving it to somebody. So the Lord wants also all the type of process to enjoy. So whoever is there in whatever stage, whatever nature, he should worship the Lord in that nature to please the Lord. That is the perfect execution of one's duty. So that's why, and at last, like in one of these verses, like I think in 18.46, so because it says that one can perform his own work, then everyone says, okay, by nature or by work, there is usually 99.999% people will say there is nothing like fully surrender to Krishna. What about that? And no one will surrender. No, in 12 point like 6 and 7, then the Lord says, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. By doing this, gradually, when one can completely devote his life, his action, his activities to the devotional service of the Lord, then the Lord takes charge. Then he says, I take charge. I am giving you the promise that I am the swift deliverer of such a person who is completely devoted his life, his activity, his mind, everything was given up. So through that, we should have strong faith that even if sometimes we may not feel comfortable or may not feel out of our own realization and knowledge, may feel that maybe by doing this, it would not be that good because it is something I see, like this may not be pure thing, is we compare in a like yardstick. Okay, this is best, this is better, this is good, this may not be so good. But as per our conditioning state, our nature, our capability, we should do that and slowly try to mold everything, redirect everything towards service of the Lord. Then the Lord takes charge. By this, I'll give rest to the Srimad Bhagavatam today. If anyone has any questions or feedbacks or something wrongly spoken by me, so please correct or give your inputs. Yes, yes.
All these verses in 18.66, Krishna says that abandoned all
Varieties of religion.
yeah, Sarva Dharma, so after saying all these things, he said that abandon all dharma and then surrender unto me.
Yes.
So that is what I just wanted to.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Only two things, nice class, thank you. In this one, one of the, like the boy's name is Utkal.
Utkal.
Now, is that anything in relation to the Utkal Pradesh that we have?
State Utkal.
State
Odisha.
Utkal, is
Yes,
anything,
Odisha was
any
called
relation, and anyone knows about that? And second thing is that it is mentioned in the shloka as a Punya Janaha, right? Yakshas are considered.
Mhm.
And I mean, you already mentioned that there is no clear indication why the fight
Fight
broke.
group, yeah.
But how about the Punya Jana who kill
I
some,
heard on this regard.
kill someone, like that.
Actually, yakshas are both. Sometimes they are very good, and sometimes they are like cruel and gruesome. Because their duty is just to protect this. In material world, there are so many wealth, and they are protectors of the wealth. So maybe if someone is trying to get hold of that, and then they'll naturally their duty is to fight. So they will not just go into the nitty-gritty and see that okay, this person is a king, he is brother of Dhruv Maharaj, so we should respect him and welcome him. So may not be that. So yakshas are not in like pure devotees, or because they are just doing their own duty. It is their duty to protect it. So somehow or other, like out of the Kshatriya nature, they are always like very much passionate. And Utkal, actually, I have never heard or any pastimes if the state Utkal is somewhat anything to do with that. Because Utkal, like, as I have here heard from Guru Maharaj, Utkal means it was named because Utkrishta Kala. That is, it is called Utkal. Now that name is changed, became Odisha. I don't know when that is also long back ago. So earlier it was Utkal. So Utkal means Utkrishta Kala because there was very nice art and artistic things were there, like be it some paintings, and there are so many like in cloth and all they make the things near around Pipili and Puri. They also do, and singing and the dancing form, Odissi dance form to please the Lord was used. So for that it was used, but I have never come across this connection from this Utkal to.
About Utkal Prabhuji, I would like to say one thing. In Odisha, the Agriculture University,
Mhm.
whichever variety they introduce in the market,
Mhm.
the initial is Utkal. Like, they use Utkal in most of their,
Ah,
whatever hybrids or varieties are released from the University of
Mhm.
Odisha, they
Mhm.
use Utkal bird.
Utkal name, yes. Because Odisha name is very recent, maybe after the independence. Also, there were some like disputes about the border lines with Andhra, the nearby states. So once that was finalized and the demarcation was done, okay, this with the borders lines, this will become Odisha. So out of that, they made some the name changes. कंत्रास भागवतम की जय, समस्त गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय. One thing is very nice is here in Zoom. So Prasanna Prabhu joined. So his DP is a nice, very beautiful. Prasanna Mataji. Yeah. Sorry Mataji.
Harish Prabhuji.
So she has a very nice Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in DP. So automatically it came as like this. So I liked very much. So it came like this. So that came as the middle of the screen. It's so beautiful, Jagannath. Then we started. Hare Krishna.
Bihari Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I don't know.